Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to give you my thesis for why I am bullish on Palantir. All right, so without further ado, guys, let's just get into the video and I'm going to start sharing with you guys what I think is so important and why this is a great time to buy Palantir. But first, just to caveat everything, don't follow my trades. All right, talk to a financial advisor or financial planner, all those people with fancy acronyms behind their names. I'm not either of those. All right, I'm not a tax professional of any sort. I'm just some investor, some guy on YouTube. And again, do not follow my trades. Do your own research. All right, so here we go. Okay, so this is an article that came out right around when Palantir's price crashed. Okay, there was a huge price decline in Palantir. So Palantir CEO Alex Karp planned to sell up to $1 billion in stock, right? And this caused the stock price of Palantir to fall dramatically. That, coupled with the news the next day from, Defense Secretary Hegseth, who basically told the Pentagon they need to start cutting money out of the finance budget. So Pentagon proposed $50 billion in annual cuts and identifies priorities to expand. Okay, so this is also very important. Priorities to expand. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, so when these two pieces of news dropped, we saw Palantir's price decline by more than 30%. Okay, from its all-time highs of $124 down to $83.42 as of the making of this video. Obviously, that's a huge cause of concern, and a lot of investors piled out, got out as soon as they could, and basically Palantir's share price plummeted. So I think, in my personal opinion, people seem to forget why they invest in companies at all. And Palantir is a very, very special company, I gotta say, and just in my own opinion, and I'm gonna share with you why, okay? First, Palantir, in order to do all this research and get it all on paper, I created this little document, and this is my due diligence document. I'm not going to share this with you guys, but I just want you to know, there was a lot of work that went into this, okay? But I was basing it off of what is the priorities for this current administration? What is the priorities for this president? Okay, and his whole administration, and our view on basically the tech sector, everything else. And if you guys saw a previous video I made a video about me being bullish on artificial intelligence. Okay, and I gave you some reasons why. For those of you who did not see the video, this is what I'm basing it off of. All right, or my bullish case for Palantir. All right, so this is directly from Donald Trump's own website. Okay, from his own website, he had a document that outlined his priorities, okay? And you guys can go here and check it out. And again, we don't really discuss politics on this channel. We use politics to understand, as investors, what we can do to position ourselves to take advantage of opportunities, or at least protect ourselves from huge market downfalls. So in this particular instance, for me personally, I'm taking advantage of an opportunity that I believe exists. So if we look at the actual document, there was, this is the 2024 GOP platform, Make America Great Again. And if we scroll down to page number 9, okay, we see that Chapter 3, Build the Greatest Economy in the World. There's two things listed here that are very, very interesting, and that is crypto and artificial intelligence. Okay, now these don't exactly tell you what they plan to do. These are more just broader ideas, broader topics. But we know that the current administration is going to place an emphasis on, or prioritize, crypto and artificial intelligence. Okay, and with the announcement recently of the whole crypto reserve, the national crypto reserve that we're going to be building, that lends to this, as well as all this movement and all this investment into AI. We mentioned the Stargate project, which is a collaboration between OpenAI, Microsoft, Oracle, and several other partners. And we also know that Apple's investing $500 billion into AI infrastructure, training, and manufacturing, all that stuff. So all of this is playing on because of what kind of this document is saying. The administration is very focused on crypto and artificial intelligence. So how do we dig a little deeper into this? Well, there's a document out there that's very controversial. Okay, I will say that it's very controversial. This is Project 2025. Okay, but I was curious and I wanted to look in this document myself to see, kind of pull, maybe some bits of information. Maybe there's something in here that can help me form my thesis for Palantir. Right, the focus of a full GOP administration slash Congress slash politics, right? All that stuff. How do I look at this? How is Palantir a buy? Is this an interesting company? You know, how are politics going to play into this? All right. Well, there was something actually kind of interesting. If I could find it here. Sorry guys, I'm doing this on the fly. I'm actually surprised it's not popping up. It's usually my first one. There we go. During the Trump and Biden administration, there has been a bipartisan focus on prioritizing R&D funding around the so-called industries of the future, IOTF. Under President Trump, IOTF priorities were artificial intelligence, AI, quantum information science, QIS, advanced communications, 5G, advanced manufacturing, biotech. Under President Biden, the list has been expanded to include advanced materials, robotics, battery technology, cybersecurity, green products, and clean technology, plant genetics and agricultural technologies, nanotech, and semiconductor and microelectronic technologies. All right, so this is basically a policy guideline for the current administration. Whether they're going to follow it to an exact T is left to be seen, but you can still kind of surmise some ideas from this. Okay, so we know that the current administration is very focused on artificial intelligence along with crypto. All right, but more so to the artificial intelligence and Palantir. How do we make all sense of this? Okay, well, some people seem to forget that, you know, yes, Hegseth, you know, the defense secretary, wants to, you know, cut a bunch of money out of the defense budget, but it is also on record of him saying he indicated that the cuts to future defense budgets, which had been drafted under the Biden administration, should be reinvested in the Pentagon's new priorities under the Trump administration. Okay, if we take that a little further, the full list of priorities exempted from cuts include Virginia-class submarines, uncrewed systems, and the Air Force's emerging uncrewed fighter jet program, i.e. artificial intelligence, okay? Surface ships, cybersecurity, munitions and energetics, and homeland missile defense, likely in anticipation of the Trump's push for a nationwide American equivalent of Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. All right, so we know that there's going to be budget cuts, but that these budget cuts are going to be reallocated to other parts of the plan, the overall plan, right? They're going to be reallocated to other priority areas. Okay, so now we know that the money, yes, this news was bad, but it's bad for certain, probably other parts of government, other, you know, departments, and you see it all in the news that there's jobs being cut at the federal level, bureaucracies being kind of like, you know, torn down almost. So that money is getting reallocated to companies that are probably going to be focused on AI, right? There's going to be new contracts, there's going to be new technologies, new research and development opportunities, all these types of things. So what about Palantir? All right, why does all this matter to Palantir? Palantir has many customers, including government agencies, healthcare organizations, and companies in manufacturing, energy, and retail. The government agencies that it does have is the United States Department of Defense, the United States Air Force, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the CIA, NSA, FBI, CDC, right? All of these other government agencies, all right? Yes, the Department of Defense is also going to get cut, but it has its hand also in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, okay? And it's, you know, of course, working with the United States Air Force, which falls under the DOD. But, you know, again, they're cutting in certain areas. They're going to reallocate the money in other priority areas. So one thing I want to look at, or one thing I want to just point your attention to, is Palantir's own presentations, okay? Palantir's own actual presentations. These are Q3 2024 updates, okay? We see U.S. revenue growth up 44%. We see commercial revenue growth up 54%. Government revenue, 40%, right? Again, just continuous growth, right? In all metrics. They closed 104 deals in 2024 in Q3. 36 were at least $5 million. 16 were at least $10 million. Okay. And then they talk more about this, but this is what I found was interesting. All right. We're going to look at 2025 guidance, but for 2024, for fiscal year 2024, this is what they expected. All good numbers, all growing numbers. Okay. This was all growing numbers. Now, if we look at Palantir for Q1 or Q4 of 2024 into 2025, we see again, continuous growth, continuous growth, continuous growth, more growth, more growth. It just continuously goes up, right? During Q4 of 2024, they closed 129 deals of at least $1 million. 58 were at least $5 million. 32 were at least $10 million. All right, so they had a net increase in deals. And not only that, if we scroll down, look at their fiscal year 2025 and what they expect. All right, I'm just going to show you guys. Look at the difference here. Palantir is expecting tremendous growth for their company. Okay, tremendous growth. So I know these presentations, you have to kind of take them with, kind of a grain of salt because, they might not come true, but it still lends to what they are predicting for 2025. And under this current administration, which is, creating conditions that are very favorable for AI and government spending on AI initiatives, research and development, manufacturing, and things like that, I think Palantir is perfectly positioned to take advantage of all of this stuff. Okay. If we look at Palantir's earnings, okay, Q4 of 2024, they had, some red here. But if you look in the previous quarters, all green, all growing. And even if you look at the earnings calls, they beat every time. They beat every time. So this is, again, why I think Palantir's overselling was kind of overblown, right? It was just investor emotion. People read two bad pieces of news and then they sold out. They said, this isn't worth it. Me, however, I'm very bullish on Palantir. All right. But I don't want to invest in Palantir's stock. All right. I don't want to invest in PLTR. Instead, I want to invest in something a little more higher risk and a little more leveraged. Okay. So income is what I'm looking for. Okay. I'm looking for income and I'm looking for some type of way to make income either through dividends or distributions through cover calls. For this particular ETF from Roundhill, this is Roundhill's weekly pay ETF. All right. PLTW is the ticker. And this is Palantir's weekly pay ETF, like I mentioned. So PLTW seeks to pay a weekly distribution to shareholders while targeting enhanced returns corresponding to 120% of Palantir's weekly performance. I think Palantir is going to rise. I don't know when, I don't know how soon, but I think their share price is going to recover and grow from here. And by investing in this ETF, this is going to give me a leveraged exposure. Now, the risk to this, the downside risk to this is if Palantir's stock continues to fall, then this ETF can theoretically go to zero. If Palantir lost 83% of its value, I would lose my entire investment in PLTW. Okay. So quick overview. You're going to get weekly distributions with PLTW. You're going to get enhanced exposure to PLTW or to PLTR. And if we scroll down a little bit more, they had, they just talk about their expense ratio and kind of, what they're doing. And then they also mention their distribution. They had one distribution so far. Okay. They had one distribution so far, about 18 cents. Okay. For every share. So I'm expecting the next distribution to be probably about the same, but we'll find out. Okay. So I did end up buying into PLTW. This is part of my income generating strategy. I opened up new positions in income generating ETFs, specifically cover call ETFs. And this is actually going to be my first leveraged position in my portfolio. All right. I just want to show you guys for transparency, the actual buy order. So this is the actual buy order. I put $20,000 into PLTW, okay, into Roundhill's PLTR weekly pay ETF. All right. And this happened March 3rd. I just want to show you guys, I have 618 shares of PLTW now to show you the actual portfolio. And again, I'm not going to go over the entire portfolio. This video is mostly about Palantir. So I'm going to just show you quickly about Palantir, the portfolio. So this is the portfolio right now. Currently, it's projected to, produce about $40,000 in annual income, $3,000 a month, dividend yield of 27%. These numbers will always fluctuate, so take this with a grain of salt. But I want to show you guys this is actually a part of my portfolio now in the cover call ETF stack. All right. So some additional thoughts about Palantir, because there's so much surrounding Palantir. AI is the future, and there's going to be this huge push towards AI everything, AI warfare, AI technology, AI missiles, AI ground warfare, AI unmanned vehicles. And I think Palantir is primed to take advantage of those positions. It's going to be a mixture of hardware and software for these next 4 years, right? It's going to be a mixture of hardware, software for these next 4 years, especially when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence, okay? This is my reason for being bullish on Palantir. Under the hood, it's an exceptional company with lots of room to grow, and it's going to continue growing. It's going to continue securing government contracts, lucrative government contracts at that. And as the bureaucracy, the administration continues tearing down a lot of these red tapes and things like that, it's only going to make it easier. And I know some people might have some differences opinions on this, but it's only going to make it easier for companies like Palantir, defense contractors, to be able to get in on contracts much quicker versus the long wait time that it takes to actually win a contract. So very exciting time for us. Like I mentioned 100 times, 2025 is going to be one of the biggest years for investors. All right, if you're not investing, you need to get invested. You need to start investing, whether it's the S&P 500 or at least getting involved, reading the news, staying up to date with what's going on, because I think a lot of people, if you're going to stay out, you're going to miss all the opportunities that are going to be abundant this year. All right, so with that, I got nothing else for you guys. Please let me know what you think. All right. I really enjoy your I enjoy your guys' comments. Maybe you guys might see something that I don't. Do you think Palantir is a good buy right now or not? I'm actually genuinely interested. All right. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and of course, I will see you guys in the next video.